But they are underway repaving Shafter and adding these mini roundabouts, which will be planted and will, in theory, look like this cute little one here. On Telegraph, they are planning repaving the entire street, and they are currently in the process of doing a survey for the Temescal portion. So I just wanted to point everyone to this website here. If you just Google like Temescal Telegraph Design Survey, you'll come across this, and just go fill it out and say what you think. They want community input. They have a few different designs, and they're focused on, you know, safety and usability and community input. They have like, I think they have 4 things that they're trying to take into account to plan this redesign. And then that shouldn't say Shafter, it should say Lawton, and that's what we've been waiting for. So I don't know who's aware of this, who drives in that area, but apparently it is no longer allowed to make a left turn from northbound Broadway onto westbound Shafter, and it has been launched. Sorry, I'm on East Coast time. I came from New York this morning, so you have to forgive me. Yeah, so does anyone have comments about all the things I just writing? Oh dear God. Okay, we're gonna do numbers, and then I'm gonna stop. 1, 2, 3, 4. No?
Mine was just quick on the front too.
Well, go ahead. You start then.
I was just saying, do you know any update as far as when the Shafter roundabouts will actually happen?
I do not.
Okay.
Funny?
And then second, maybe just to let people know about Telegraph, what is being repaved and restriped, because I think it ends, and you might know, like the bike lanes end before the Oakland border. Like it will only go up to a certain point.
Yeah, it's MacArthur to 52nd.
Cool. Okay. Did everyone remember the numbers? Go.
Okay, so this is the reason I came tonight. I go through that Broadway Lawton intersection sometimes multiple times a day. Sometimes I'm driving, sometimes I'm walking. I love the lights, I love the road diet, it's pedestrian, it's great. I used to avoid that intersection when I was walking. I would go a different way just so I could cross without risking my life, so I like that. But my biggest concern right now is it's a disaster. Right now, it is so confusing. Nobody knows where to go in what lane when you're turning left and there's a tiny little sign. You can't turn if you're coming up Broadway, you can't turn on Lawton. You can barely see that sign, and I've lived here for more than 50 years. We've been turning on Lawton our whole lives.
Yeah.
You're not going to necessarily see that little sign, so people are going to turn, and then people that are coming down Broadway that are going to turn the other way on Lawton, which I do frequently. I sent a letter to the Rockridge News a while ago, and Victoria, whatever, Eisen, I think, she said you're supposed to wait in that left turn lane that's at Rockridge Boulevard. That's where you're supposed to wait if you're then going to proceed down Broadway and turn left on Lawton. But there's sort of this no man's land there. And if you're waiting farther from the intersection by Rockridge Boulevard, and somebody thinks you're going to turn on Rockridge Boulevard, they're going to go around you.
Yep.
You're going to pull forward to turn on Lawton. You're going to get hit. Then there's this the yellow lines when you're coming up Broadway, because you can't turn left on Lawton. But if you come down Lawton, you can't see that you're not allowed to continue on Lawton, so you're going to pull in the middle of that intersection and go straight on Lawton. So there's just this huge area where it's really unclear what people are supposed to do, where they're supposed to wait, and who's turning where. So it has to be re-engineered. It is just a disaster. And people have already been killed at that intersection already, which is why they've been making all these changes. So the idea of making these changes I'm all in favor of. But right now, something's got to change, because it is a disaster.
Oh, sorry, I wouldn't have left this for last, but really.
Yeah. Well,
I was at the other end of Rockridge. I was a little naive on this issue.
Why?
I'm sorry, we have number 2 here.
Okay, so I just want to reiterate the safety issues. I live on Lawton as well and go through the intersection constantly during the day. And it's not only just the turning aspect. Some people don't even understand what the red is for. I've seen people barrel down through a red light almost kill somebody.
Yeah.
And so that's unclear. Then it starts blinking, red starts blinking, people don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
Some people
Saw that
start to
today.
drive, pedestrian or not in the, across the intersection, other people wait and get honked at. People who are trying to turn right from Lawton Ave to Broadway don't know what to do, if they're supposed to go during the, because you can't see the red from that particular point of view. So it's a very confusing situation now, even though they're trying to do the right thing. They need to really go back and re-look at the whole intersection, how it operates. There were a couple of motorcycle cops. Somebody must be complaining, called, or somebody who was sitting there. I didn't see them do anything, but somebody must have raised the issue to the council people. So it's got to be out there in the open. They just need to do something about it, and I'm not sure where she went to be represented in the call, but you should be aware that this is really going to become like a disaster.
There she is.
Oh, you're back there.
We've been doing community liaison over the last couple of years about the issue, so you should just know it's a big problem, and that it still needs to be solved.
I think I had number 3, and then we'll get you in.
Okay, I agree with that too, because I like to say, over 25 years, so I go, and I actually had the person who sold us our house tell me that it was safer to go turn left onto Lawton than do it from turn onto Ocean View. I'm on Ocean View Drive. And I have experienced that because now I have to do that. And you can't quite see the cars that are coming, and they're zooming because many are coming from the freeway or from school or whatever, and they can't see you, you can't see them. So I think they should put a left-hand turn signal there. The other problem is the pedestrians. But the other problem, of course, is the diet thing, where I turn and turn right onto Keith, and see, I go up to Temescal frequently, and I'm sure a lot of young children do too, and you want to go, we used to be able to go in the right-hand lane and then go up to the light, and some people would turn right onto Broadway, that's fine, and then we would go up through the intersection when it was our turn, and then up to Temescal. But now you can't. And now they're talking about they're going to put in a 1 lane. You see the cars backed up, you know, every time. Blocks of them. And plus the bus goes down there now, so they changed that as well. So it's a mess. You know, I don't know what were they thinking. And I think didn't they at one point have those little lights for the pedestrians at Lawton? Remember they put those in? Was that a test?
Farther down on Broadway.
Oh, okay. Because there was a test for that. So why they didn't choose that, that would have been helpful, but maybe they were too expensive, I don't know. But that was my other suggestion, is put the little lights along.
At a time. Very good point. I thought there would be someone from the Department of Transportation here tonight to help us with this. I thought so too. And so we can register all the complaints we want, but they need to be here, they need to engage with us. I live on Lawton, National Night Out in August. I circulated a petition among my neighbors, and I got several signatures, and copies of them went to Mr. Cobb's office, and copies of them went to the Department of Transportation. What I got in response, and maybe some of the others that concluded their email, was from Victoria, the issue about trying to negotiate the Ocean View option, and as you say, with the sightlines are impossible and not safe. Her comment was, well, we don't have the bandwidth to do the additional study. And what I thought that was very offensive, because come on, this is our life, our daily life. This Sunday on Out and About, I can't go, College Avenue is blocked off. I can't go on College Avenue to turn on my street. I can't turn left up from Broadway on my street. I have to go all the way down to practically Chabot School, do a U-turn and come back and go down Broadway. You know, it's just ridiculous. And the comment about living here 30 years, yes, we've been negotiating a turn from Broadway onto Lawton successfully all that time, and now all of a sudden someone decided that that wasn't going to be an option for us anymore without engaging with us. There was no process, there was no, getting input from, this has been extremely inconvenient and they say, well, if you turn left up those folks east of Broadway, on Rockridge Boulevard and Upper Lawton, they have their concerns too. So we had to choose. We had to choose which one we were going to accommodate. And the folks up the hill on Rockridge Boulevard got the option to turn left. And those of us between Broadway and College are out of luck.
Well, that was somebody posted, I think it was on Nextdoor, that people on Lawton has decided they didn't want cars coming down there.
No.
That's not right, because
I don't know.
I don't think a petition went around or anything.
At our national night out, block party, and no, not a single person said that.
Okay.
So I don't know where that came from. But
Maybe
anyway,
Lawton on the other side too? On the other side of Broadway?
I mean, the whole
Maybe
thing
it was
is a
them.
very dangerous intersection, and it always has been. And we thought, with pedestrian light, that's going to be great. That's going to really solve things. But unintended consequences, I don't know. So can we have a separate meeting, maybe convened by Mr. Cobb's office? Because not everybody in this room is interested in our little left-hand turn problem.
One of my colleagues in my office is very excited about this issue. He told me all about it. So, I put a phone call, an email, Dan put an email into our colleague. I think he must, I don't know. Anyway, we're on it. We hear his concern. We're going to keep following up to see if we can get an explanation. I'm not sure that what can be done at this point. But
meet with us and explain the thought that went into it.
They need to explain it, and
instead of
we're going to try to facilitate that.
And the sign is very small and hard to see.
It's unsafe now. Yeah. So, we hear you.
They need to more than explain it, they need to fix it, because there's going to be a head-on collision.
I know. There are a lot of people who agree with you, I will say.
Anyway, thank you for the opportunity to at least.
Thank you. I'm sorry that I didn't allow that its due time. That was my fault. So obviously this issue will need further discussion and hopefully further liaising with the city. Anyone else over here?
Yeah, this is a problem that's been brewing for quite a while, ever since they started studying the road diet. Because once you reduce it to one travel lane in each direction, you've got the problem because one center turn lane will not do going both ways. And so you have to decide how are you going to negotiate that. And as was said, they ended up deciding, well, we can't have everybody be able to turn all the ways, so we're going to decide that the uphill gets the turn lane and the downhill doesn't get the turn. I think there are a couple of possible solutions. Probably the best solution would be to take out the pedestrian light that's put in and put in a full traffic signal with left turn arrows.
Oh, and that was suggested to Cobb even a year ago, and they just said, too much money. But for the amount of money that they're getting from the cul-de-sac mitigation and what they're producing for all the other traffic improvements, that's going to save lives. So why not do the right solution?
The problem was they took a bunch of money and put it into the hawk light, and now they don't have money left. So
there's other money, they can use some of the $350 million in the bond money for the roadway. There's plenty of money in that account. There's no money in the Towards Forward account because all the projects have long ago been prioritized. And I used to work for the city, so I know that for a fact. There's no money in there. There's other projects on the list. Everything's costing more than the original. But $350 million bond that you passed, the voters welcome pass, there's money in there, and that's why they're doing 27 miles of paving this year, where they've been doing 2 miles. So things have expanded, and so there is an opportunity to pursue it.
But it's that story of the budget, it's hard to believe because when they did the painting of the street, they made a lot of mistakes. They had to redo it again. It's like they have been kind of improvising there, and the results are not to be seen.
Thank
Thank you.
So people would sign in